Welcome, everybody.
That is perfect. Voice out, video out.
Just before the stream, literally just before we started, I was asking Ari how she would like to be introduced tonight because of certain stances. And then as soon as I go, hi, everybody, she pieces out. Amazing. Well, welcome. This is a new thing that we're going to do tonight because a couple of us are kind of hurting a bit in the vocal regions. So we're going to try and take pity on us. She sounds amazing. I actually adore it, but I can understand. So we're going to work through this as best we can. But before we kick off our question and answer night tonight, I will remind everybody in the chat, if you do have questions about any of the characters or myself or the players or the campaign and things that are kind of left up in the air, by all means, put your questions in the chat room. We'll be answering them as we get to them. But yeah, before that, we're going to introduce everybody. We have Rose.
Hi, my name is Fred. This is my ASMR channel. Welcome to the Oddities.
Down from there, we have Nagheim.
Buckle my shoe. There's mayhem to do. I'm Zanza, and I play Nagheim, the Drow Wizard, and I hate ASMR and that bullshit.
And across from them. No, I won't. We have Cult.
Hi, I'm Chuck. I play a half-orc rogue Cult. This is my handle. This is my spout. And I'm a little teapot.
Let's give a shout. Hey.
Let's give a shout. I didn't think that through at all.
That's
surprise.
Okay. And last but not least, we have the ever squeaky but still ever so lovely Viria, played by Ari, who we adore, and she has killer guns. She will fuck you up, so watch out. She's like a walking switchblade of adorable. But yes.
Butterfly knife.
Yeah. So we are going to kick off with a couple of questions for ourselves, let everybody get settled in the chat room, and once we see questions popping up in there, we'll turn to those as well. So, do we want to do rollies to see who asks the first question?
Oh my god, I didn't even get my dice out. Hang on.
Oh, I think oh shit, I gotta go to the other room.
Okay.
Have my dice where we do D&D live.
Okay, alright. Use my culty dice.
Very nice, very nice. I like them all.
Every one of these has, like, it looks purple on camera because of the blue, but it's red. The red's always on 1. So if you see red on these dice, it's always a 1. So very easy to read.
Cool.
I got them on Etsy.
Dice acquired.
Excellent.
And they're
Ooh,
a lovely
yeah.
set that our own he gave me.
Amazing.
Very pretty.
What's on the inside?
A rose.
Oh, that's perfect. All right, so everybody's got a die? All right, in 3, a 2, a 1, roll. Oh, shit.
15.
3,
Oh,
15.
yeah. Ari,
Rose?
a 3. Classic.
What'd you get, Xander?
7.
7? Rose?
16.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Says.
baby.
Oh my god. And the eyeball is staring at me. It's like, look what you did. I did a good thing. All right. So, I feel like I do too much talking. This feels weird.
You're our DM.
No, I know,
And
but
a
to
really
like
good host.
Well, I should like give it to all you guys first. Okay, let's see. Oh, this is one I really liked. This is a cute one. It's a simple one. For everybody, we can go around. What does your character typically keep in their pockets?
Oh.
Aside from like the gear and all that kind of
The
stuff.
gear.
Like,
I mean, obviously, the coin of Timora.
mm-hmm.
and probably a hanky. I can imagine Colt gets a runny nose. He's just one of those kinds of kids.
Initials
Maybe a
embroidered
nosebleed
on there.
occasionally. Yeah, like
Yeah.
dry climates will always give him like a bloody nose.
Hmm.
So a hanky for sure, monogrammed, of course,
Yeah.
lace.
I feel that so hard.
The nose bleeding or the hanky?
The nose bleeding.
Okay.
I don't even think I own a hanky.
My grandpa had a hanky. It was gross.
So Ari responded that Viri would have loose coin and an incredible butt in her pockets. We heartily agree.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, it's
There
canon.
was never any doubt.
Yeah. Rose?
Pocket lint.
Pocket lint? Okay. On purpose
And a
pocket
hairbrush.
lint? Or, okay, there we go. A hairbrush. As a reminder of years gone by?
I mean, y'all don't know if she ever had hair or when she cut her hair.
It's true. You've stayed pretty shorn the whole campaign.
Mhm. I
I
Nagheim?
wonder if we've ever seen her shave her head.
That's
Yeah,
true.
it's
I
been
haven't been
mentioned.
too hardcore about like all the shaving and needs and all that kind of stuff. I leave that to you guys.
Nagheim has a collection of all the trinkets that Albert finds and retrieves, and they just keep them like a proud parent with like art on the fridge. And just goes thanks into the pocket.
Nice. All right. Well, I'm sitting out this next rollies.
Oh.
So, if everybody's ready. Oh, hold on. She has a
We
whole
do have
butt in her
a
pocket.
question from Broen
Yeah.
Zibolo.
Let's go with that.
Here we go. She has a whole butt in her pockets. Also, which of your characters would attempt to get away with tax fraud? I think, I think the religious organization for sure.
Not out of malice, but more out of like, what is tax law anyway? Rose would probably view tax law the same way she view deities, something that's not real, so who cares? Doesn't need to be followed. So yeah.
Ari says Viria would accidentally commit it because she's bad at math. What? I don't understand any of this. This
Little
is not...
does everyone know, but Nagheim would actually be doing everyone's taxes for them and intercepting all mail, so they just figure it out and go, okay, here. And just deal with it all for everybody.
As a 1%er, I think the Cultivarius family probably has already committed some kind of tax fraud. There's definitely some write-offs. It's all the staff are actually written down as children. There's probably some not super hinky, but definitely some sussy activity going on in the books.
You know
I'm
what?
Sure.
I'll jump on that for a second.
Yeah, do
'Cause
it.
I don't think they like your parents. I don't think they would commit tax fraud, just because of Gazok's station.
Mm-hmm.
But your mom would know every loophole and every little wording that lets you get away with things. You know, she would find them.
Milk the
Legal.
system.
Yes. Yes.
Taxation.
Yes, exactly. For
Absolutely.
sure. But does a lot of charity work.
That's the loophole.
Yeah. There's so many charity works.
Yeah.
What we're all saying is Nagheim's the only one who's not going to get arrested for fucking up with money.
Well, the family has like lawyers. Shall we do a rollies?
You bet. Yes. Good
More
question,
tax
Brown.
neglect then. Yeah, thank you, Brown. 13.
12.
Ooh, an
14.
8.
Hey,
That's me.
Nagheim.
Okay. For everyone, what is something you've always wanted to do in D&D, but never gotten the chance to do it?
Oh my god. The deck. The deck. I've always wanted to do a deck. I've always wanted to, as a DM, I've wanted to put it in the game. Never felt right at the time. Never got to do it as a player. I've always wanted to do something with a deck of many things. And there's so many different options of deck of many things. Like you can go and find these cool homebrews that aren't game breaking, but still crazy bad. Like I would do versions of the deck, but I've never gotten to do the actual deck. It's like giving a child a loaded weapon.
Well, you saw the birth of the deck of many things in this campaign.
Did we?
Yeah, because when you guys went to
Elaborate.
Beaverbrook, what's his name? Schrodinger? He's the guy who invented the deck of many things. And Beaverbrook was kind of like the testing grounds for the wish card.
Oh, I missed that completely. I mean, no one's shocked.
Yeah. It's all good.
That's very cool.
Yeah, that's good too. That is really neat.
That is super
Like, really
cool.
neat.
So it's now officially out in the world somewhere. We know eventually where it shows up, but currently it is out there somewhere. And by the way,
you
thank
guys.
you for naming him Schrodinger. That was like the perfect name. Oh my god.
Anyway,
How about you, Fred?
Yeah.
There's two. I've never gotten to play like a magical user that's not a cleric, because magic spells are complicated. And I am a two-brain cell person. And
Relatable.
I've always really wanted to try a corruption arc type of thing.
You and me both.
That's something I'd really like to try one time.
You know, just as a side story to that, because I'm with you, Fred. Like, I would love to play, like, even just not even chaos, but like a lawful evil character. And I got invited to do like a little short, like 2-off kind of campaign thing, and there were no restrictions or anything said. And so I came up with someone that was like a follower of Tiamat, but is kind of like away from her now, but is still like ingrained in that like lawful evil like kind of mentality. And the second I mentioned that they had like a Tiamat kind of charm, the DM just lost it on me. He was like, no evil characters, blah blah blah. I'm like, why the fuck not? You don't know what I'm gonna do. So I feel you. I really want to try that out.
this is why session zeros are very important, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dink. Anyway. You want to read off Viri's?
Yeah,
one?
for sure. Playing Artificer. Never played one as a player or a DM because while they sound fun, they sound way too complicated for my small brain. Or playing a neutral or chaotic evil character, not as a DM.
Mhm.
Agreed. I don't even know what an Artificer. I have a hard time saying Artificer. But I have gotten to play a chaotic evil character in like a text-based game, but I was doing redemption arc, so he became chaotic good eventually. But he did start off as evil.
Nice.
Murder hobo.
All right. Next round.
Xander, did you answer the question?
Oh yeah.
So I've done this, but I haven't. I do want to do an evil campaign, but like full evil campaign. But like the thing is my last character that I played back in Nova Scotia was building up as a necromancer that no one knew about, and was slowly building an army. But by the time I moved to Montreal, the character had become the full-blown big bad, and that was like the whole destiny of the character, but I never got to play him truly being evil. I got to commit some of the evil things, but I've never gotten to live my fantasy of murdering the entire party. I've just got to hear about it. So
I did luck out and get to murder point blank, crossbow in the chest, one of our characters. I got to murder Branny's character, if you guys know who Branny is. Yeah. Because she turned ended and I just shot her in the face.
So
she was shocked. But that was we had established in the campaign earlier that's how it's gonna go.
Yeah.
Ari
What about
asks, though, if that's Nagheim's destiny, and you keep my secrets to yourself.
Jason, is there something you would like to do that you haven't been able to do yet?
Oh, I mean, quite honestly, like, it's gonna sound somewhat cheesy, but I mean, everything I've wanted to do in D&D, I mean, I'm freaking doing it in this campaign, you know? So, like, there's little things that are popping up where I know it doesn't suit this particular direction in this campaign. So I kind of think, like, you know, campaign 2 or campaign 3, if we get to that, will be, you know, that'll be the crux for then. Or there's like themes that would have been a great starting point that I think is going to be a better setup for campaign 2. And then like overarching things, you know, just like I love doing all those little ties that connect certain dots, either between players or between the overarching world and all this kind of stuff. So yeah, like all these huge crazy ideas that I've had and that I've wanted to see other writers or creators do, I'm now able to kind of go, well, fuck you, if you're not doing it, I'm gonna do it. You know, so it's really great that way. So yeah, there's not a lot that I am missing out on because I just look at it and go, well, why not now? So I just do it.
You're living your best life.
Actually, I really am.
I've got someone submitted a question to me.
Oh.
Privately, and it's sort of a follow-up to that is, who is your favorite DM in general, and why is it Jason?
Oh, come on. There's a lot of other influential people out there, but that's very sweet. Do I ask who sent that? Do I know them? Do I have to buy them a Slurpee? Yeah. That's very cute.
There's another question in chat that just popped up.
Ooh la la. Oh, and Ari did write, Nagheim would murder the whole party out of annoyance.
Oh.
I have a fireball with each of your names on it, I promise.
Oh my god! You never hear the fireball that gets you. Does someone else want to read this one?
I can read it.
Yeah, go for it.
Speaking of evil, if your character had become evil and got to get an evil makeover, what would their BBEG costume design be? Spikes, skulls, tattered shrouds?
I have thought, not so much on the evil aspect of this, but the level 20 version of cult is like as an older dude. I have imagined it, and I was like, okay, there's going to be art of this one day, of future cult. It is going to be kind of like post-apocalyptic, like Mad Maxy kind of a look, and that would probably go into, if he went full evil, that would sort of be the direction.
I don't know about the costume, but the expression on my character's face would look like Tally's just did as she was being grinded by Ari's face just now. You can roll back on the live stream to see what I'm talking about. Oh man.
I know Nagheim's outfit would be very reminiscent of Maleficent, but also very shadowy, where it's not that you don't see the feet like with Essek, for example, of floating. It's just the darkness of the cloud of aura that would be around Nagheim will blur so many of their features to the point you can't tell what they're casting because the darkness just hovers. And even Albert would become more spiny and like hunched over. The wings would become more jagged and pointed.
I can imagine like sort of a misty shadow that like clings to walls as they move past, and like
you don't know if
clings
it's
to thing.
them clinging to the wall or if it is just the aura itself fucking with you.
Like in Bram Stoker's Dracula, how the shadow sort of does stuff. Yes,
very
the shadow does other things as
Yes.
Oh god, that would be so cool. That's awesome.
That was honestly ever since creating Nagheim, I was like, well, what? I was always thinking, what if they had won? What if Nagheim never got out? What if Nagheim didn't meet people that allowed them to fully get out? What if Nagheim failed? And that's kind of like what my mind has always thought of, like, what if this happened? Because, like, it's kind of cool to think about.
I have thought about Nagheim's villain arc because it always feels like Nagheim is a bit teetery on the edge a little bit. Like, when you get a well-written villain that believes in what they're doing and they believe it's for the good of everybody, but they've gone so deep into their own pit that you're just like, oh no, it's not good. But you're like, I can't do that, Dave.
Very that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's the whole like, they're not like a high wizard or anything because they've burned the college down with everyone in it.
Ooh, the music is so
I
perfect
know,
for
right?
this discussion.
Yeah, the music
It's
is
really
perfect.
creepy.
Yeah.
Well done.
I want to know what Rose villain arc would be. What villain Rose is.
Her wife.
I have two thoughts. So, I guess part of Rose's villain, like appearance could be like the before the Oddities when she was like fully immersed into her cult. Like that could be part of it, but like I don't think Rose was really a villain at that time. But like say for example, if Rose were to be like, I'm going back to my ex-wife, Chain Oblivion, take me. I think like that transformation scene in Sailor Moon where like Sailor Moon is like sort of like naked-ish, but like she's all rainbowy. That would be Rose's appearance, but instead of being like all rainbow, it'd be like black. Like she would be like this black energy and just.
Oh, yeah. As in like fully giving herself to like the entity kind of thing?
Yeah.
Rose goes whole hog. There's no half measures.
That is so cool though, because it's like Rose is like, from seeing Rose, the one who's like, I put an end to this to help people and everything, to thinking like, yeah, what if she just went, you know what? Yeah, there is a god, and it's the Chained Oblivion. And
or I like, give. She was just like, this is the person I love. I, you know what? I was wrong for stabbing you. I love you. I trust you in this. I don't believe in gods, but I trust you. And then
Yay,
that's
toxic
wild.
Codependence.
Yeah. Toxic relationships in D&D.
That is wild. Jesus, that's cool though.
Yeah,
that is cool.
Ari says, pretty similar actually, just with more draconic bits and more of a feral look maybe. Didn't put much thought into it because as a somewhat bubbly goth person, I don't think looks need to reflect someone's nature.
Somewhat bubbly. Are you kidding me?
He is bubbly.
I know, but somewhat?
Very.
You're like a shaken up can of Pepsi bubbly, just all over the place.
Explode onto me.
Yes. Drench me in your bubbly gothness.
That's very sexual.
Good.
Yeah, I think Colt would have stuck with his original outfit, which was the big hat and the cloaks and the black and in the shadows.
Very cloak and daggerish.
Very cloak and dagger.
Mm-hmm. We've got a question from White in the chat. Speaking of later campaigns, did you guys check out some of the new changes they did for some of the classes? And would you guys be considering using the new class rules or stick to current 5e? That's a good question.
I haven't looked at any of it.
I have feels. Yeah. I have an opinion. I think what they did with Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, amazing. Do I still think Rangers need help? Yes. But outside of Tasha's, I hate it. Hate it. I'm like, why? This is not needed. This is unnecessary. Tasha's gave us what we needed. Giving us the ability to change, like, instead of being like, well, elves always have dex. Well, if you were raised in the library, you're gonna have intelligence base added to it for your stats and things like that. So I'm like, I love what Tasha's. Up to Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, yes, love it, put it all over my body. After that, burn.
It seems like Ari does agree with you, as she did check out the new changes, but kinda hates them. Lol.
I honestly have no idea, so I
Yeah.
cannot form an educated opinion. But Xander's pretty good on this, so I'm gonna go with what they say.
I get opinions on really weird things. It's like sometimes it helps with conversations. Other times people are like, why? What the fuck? I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know. I found a rabbit hole and went down it. And now I hate clementines.
White does agree, Ranger still needs help.
Ranger needs a lot.
It looks like we've got another one from White and Broen Gazabello. White says, what if one shot for evil version of your characters when? Wait.
Okay, but which of our friends would we have to kill?
Oh, I'd make you kill each other.
I don't understand the question.
It would be an
someone
evil
clarify?
battle royale. Yeah.
Oh, evil battle royale.
Yeah.
That would
Oh
be
my
cool.
gosh.
That would be cool.
I think Rose would win.
Oh, I don't know. That's hard. That's hard because I don't know. I would honestly, I would say if Nagheim could avoid damage, they could really dole it out. If you had enough protection, but I think the Warlock. I'd be afraid of the Warlock in this case.
I'm sitting here as Nagheim,
Blood-
like
Bloodthirsty. If you could avoid damage,
if I
would.
can get one spell off, I'll be set.
Yeah,
I'll
if
be
you
set
could.
to set up.
Yeah, for sure. If I could, I think I would have a pretty decent chance, and might be because I have evasion and being a rogue. If I can avoid and just like getting close and then dart away, I'd have a good chance. But that would be a luck thing for sure.
I genuinely just think what's gonna push like Rose over is the fact that she's a barbarian and would just outlive with sheer force.
Yes, sheer force of her will.
A lot of the wizard, like the caster stuff, will be done to each other.
Mm-hmm.
Viria's gonna want to shut down Nagheim as soon as possible because there's only so many counter spells. Nagheim's gonna need Viria shut down because of counter spell. Like that's gonna be that. So whoever comes out of that is going to be weakened.
My advantage would take a hit because I kind of count on Rose and Viria
Yeah.
to give me advantage, being a close-up fighter.
That's why I think Rose has like everybody is very strong contenders, as we saw with like the Mighty Nine versus the
Vox Machina?
Vox Machina. I don't know why I forgot the name. But like everybody has very strong contending abilities. I think a lot of it is just how each other plays and who is able to use that to their advantage.
Hmm.
But it'd be
'Cause
so cool.
I've
It's an
got a
interesting
lot of.
scenario, though.
It is an interesting scenario. I have a lot of tricks in the bag that I don't generally use, because of opportunity or I just forget I can do shit.
Yeah.
Which I'm so glad that our followers don't go hard into the mechanics, because I'm really an embarrassing player in that aspect.
He chimes in. At least none of us are monks.
None of us are monks so far. No.
Yet.
Who's gonna multi-class a monk? Let's go.
Triple class, let's go.
Class. we have another. That other one we had. If you had to make a rival for your PC, who would they be and what would they do?
Nah, joke's on you. I already made her. It's my wife.
You know what? That's fair.
I wrote her.
Yeah, that is the nice thing, is that at least half the party in their backstory kind of gifted me a rival to their character in some aspect. So that was nice. But
I think there's. Oh, go ahead,
no,
Jason.
no,
Sorry.
go ahead.
I think if there would be, because we haven't spent a lot of. Oh no, we have spent a lot of time in Singorn, but just socially, I can imagine that there was probably a rival to Colt who is very similar to Colt, but just a little bit better. I can imagine when he was in boarding school.
His name was
He probably-
Jonathan, and you fucking killed him.
I was gonna say it was Jonathan.
Technically, I didn't kill him.
No, that's true, but
It's a group effort.
It was a group effort.
It's a good effort.
There was probably like a kid that his family was just a little bit better off, and he was just a little bit better at fencing, and he was just a little bit better at school. He was just a bit better, like being handsome. And he has nothing against Colt, but Colt has a real stick up his ass for him. He's just like, gosh, be better at everything.
Viri says, Vira's rival also exists. It's Agnar. They grew up friendly rivals and would compete over everything as children and teenagers. And we all saw how that turned out. LOL.
He's great. He's doing fine.
I think a rival for Nagheim would be somebody who believed the rumors of Shar picking Nagheim. Like, if those rumors got out, and either of jealousy, or somebody who went, I wanted to be taught by the Enchantress herself, but she chose this child. And that little seed of anger was planted, and it just grew as the Enchantress was in hiding.
Well, not the second part, but the first part, you definitely already did that.
The
Raven Queen.
Well, yeah, I guess there's the fake who found out, well, information.
Mm-hmm.
I guess for me, I view rival not as somebody who you're gonna end up, like a rival is somebody who you're gonna be, that's either after you in some way, or like constantly pestering you, or constantly going after you, instead of like somebody you're there like, yep, I'm gonna have to fight them eventually.
An antagonistic relationship.
Yes,
That
is the word.
I think there was probably had Nagheim and Cult not died together, there may have been in the works some rivalry between them. But because they connected,
No, I'm dying first. No, I'm dying first. No, I die now.
Because
Bleh.
they are very similar, and I can imagine
Yes.
there might have been a little bit. I mean, and they do have disagreements on how things should be done, but because they died virtually together, it bonded them.
Literally within seconds.
Within seconds, yeah, for sure.
So, yeah. It would definitely made it so it's like now there's a soft spot for each other no matter what, because we literally we were just practically holding hands because we were on the floor together. It's fine.
Ari says, "All right, get a review too."
Don't be jealous.
We
Well,
just
with
like
that-
to flirt.
With that prompt from Ari, rollies.
Ooh, rollies.
Ooh,
Natural 20.
Oh, baby.
you got
Oh
it.
yeah?
You got
Well,
it.
I got it too.
Oh.
Go for it, Rose.
Hang on.
I want to see what Ahi got. Ahi got an 18. Yeah, so I have a good question, I think. So when we create our characters, like you often have a first draft. What's something that was in your first draft that didn't make the final version of your character?
That is it. I had that question.
What is mine now?
That's perfect. No, I like yours. You worded yours better. I did have Colt was going to be a human female originally. He wasn't. I don't. I just did a sketch of this character, and I was like, "Oh, that's cool." And then I was talking with some friends about it, and they're like, "Ooh, what if half orc?" And I'm like, "What if half orc?" And just the way I drew it, I was like, "No, you're not." It didn't speak female to me. It spoke male, and originally it was going to be a bit more of a down and dirty thief character, like street urchin. And then I was like, well, what if they have everything? And what if they're like kind of innocent and kind of a sweetheart? I always play like the classic edgelord rogue. Why don't I go off book and make him just this sweet kid who really wants to be something and isn't? He was going to have a much darker flavor in the beginning, and I just threw it all out. I was like, nope, let's make him awesome and cute. Well, that's edgelords can be awesome as well. But yeah, that's mine.
Sorry. For Nagheim, in their original backstory, they were supposed to be born in the Underdark, raised in the Underdark, with an enchanter, a high wizard, who was trying to corrupt them against their family. So that way, they would be more willing to join the side of evil. And there was rumors of like a revolution happening, and Nagheim was able to keep what was actually happening separate because of hearing everything else going on. They weren't able to fully shelter them. And Nagheim eventually one day told their parents when they felt strong enough they could fight back. But it was too late, and those who were in the revolution actually ended up saving Nagheim and pulling them out of the Underdark while Nagheim watched their parents die. But in it, they made 3 good friends. Alexstrasza, the Dragonborn. Kurt, who is a furbog. And Zar, who was going to be Nagheim's original lover.
Oh,
and
wow.
a fellow drow. But I did something completely different because that's a lot of characters to think about.
Yeah, I mean, still the same flavor, but definitely a drastically different scenario.
Yeah, Nagheim knew their
You went
parents.
homeschool kid.
Yeah, homeschool. Let's go.
Homeschool orphan.
Exactly.
Rose?
I'm gonna give some more time for Ahi to keep typing. But V1 of Rose actually was not a cult leader. She was always running from something, and she had a shop, and she was a dressmaker, and she had a friend named Viria.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. Because
Oh
these
my
were characters
gosh.
beforehand, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right.
So, the V1 of Rose was a character that I had already played with Vera, and they came as a pair. Then I rehauled Rose, and so yeah, this version in the Oddities is completely different than the version that we originally played together with Ari. But yeah, original Rose was not a cult leader, and she was a dressmaker and had a shop.
Aw,
And a friend named Vera.
that's very cool.
Was she still a barbarian?
Yes, I think so. Was she a barbarian? I think she was a barbarian. Was
It
she?
looks like Ari said instead of a champion figure for her island, original Viria was fairly lackluster. Her inadequacy kept her from following her friend's group on a doomed quest, and she made her warlock pact out of survivor's guilt. Oh, that's interesting. That's the version of her who met Rose when we played them in a one-shot. Oh my god, yeah, that would be a very different character. Oh, and we're hydrating and posture checking.
Viri asked, or Ari asked, wasn't OG Rose a bard or a rogue?
I don't remember. It's very possible. But it's very. I love barbarian, and they're kind of like my comfort class. So switching her back from rogue or bard to. No, yeah, you're right. You're right. She was a bard because she was inspiring people with her dressmaking.
Now,
I thought Ari literally spit taked there.
That's amazing. That's so good.
I just remembered that. Thank you.
That sort of leads to a sort of a follow-up question. I know I did Rogue because this was a new group and a new campaign, and we didn't really know each other all that well. And even Jason and I haven't been like tight friends for many, many, many years, and are now best of friends. Did you play your class as your comfort class because it was just sort of a new group and we wanted to like not fuck up too bad because that's how I did it?
For me, I just really love barbarian. And when I say they're my comfort class, it's just because I just have so much fun playing them, and I know I've had a lot of fun playing a barbarian with Xander and Ahi in the past in one-shots. Fucking Shog.
I love them so much.
Okay, for context, Fog and Shog is a pair of half-orc sisters that Ahi and I played, who for like 3 hours pretended that they were a wizard and a barb, and really they were barbarians. And we convinced the entire party that we were not barbarians for like 3 hours, and it took everyone a long time to figure that out. It was
We
so
noticed, to be fair, and I think it was, our friend Sebastian. My partner was the GM. So my friend Sebastian, I should say, and I only found out when, I think it was Fog, picked his character up and went, magic missile, and threw the sorcerer.
That was one of the first stories you guys told me about another campaign. It's so good.
I remember laughing so hard I was crying.
But yeah, so we had made an agreement with the DM that like, oh, our characters are gonna pretend, like when we say this, we're actually gonna do this. Can you help us? And yeah. Anyway, what I was trying to say is barbarian, fun to play. I know with I didn't know Chuck and Jason coming in, but I knew with Ahi and Xander that like, okay, I'm gonna have fun playing with a barbarian, and I love barbarian, so there you go.
I always play, not always, but I usually play casters of some sort. So coming into a group where I really only was experienced in long campaigns was Ari. I've done one-shots with Fred, but it's like I never did anything long. So it's like, I'm going to do something where if I'm ever too awkward or at a loss, I can just be like, oh, I'm working on spells, ignore me. Because I was like, I don't know fully in full campaign form 3 of the players. I know I was going to get along with Fred no matter what. And I knew I was going to get along with Ari no matter what. So I was like, this is going to be... I wouldn't say wizards are my comfort class, but they're very complicated. So I knew I would always have a distraction if I needed one.
For sure.
That's it.
I know Ari's still typing. For next campaign, are you guys willing to like step out of your comfort zone and play something that you may have not played before, or you just haven't found your a class that you jive with? But we'll pause that for a second because I'm just going to ask Ari. Ari says nope. Played a warlock before, but that DM system was completely homebrewed, so it wasn't much of a comfort class for me. Cleric would have been a comfort class for me. My longest running character was a light domain cleric, and clerics in general are super versatile, so I probably would have gone back to that. Agreed. I have been loving having a couple of levels in cleric. They're way more fun than, people used to make fun of it. It's like, no one wants to be the healer. It's like, no, the healer is so much fun to play. being a support character that can also kick ass is great. It's like it's is equal to paladin, I find.
My
Pharmacist.
first character was a cleric.
Yeah. And then so what was the question I asked? Sorry, I feel like
Campaign
I'm doing a lot of
2.
talking and getting distracting myself.
This campaign 2, are you planning on going outside your comfort zone, or?
For campaign 2, I've already decided on my character, and for me, it's going to be a return to something I've already played before in terms of class.
Mhm.
It better not be that fucking Taylor Swift character.
No.
As we see her looming over her shoulder.
I've played the class that I'm thinking of fits into a story that I really would like to tell. But the thing is it's a homebrew subclass to make it work. But I don't really play these types of characters often. So I guess it would be getting out of my comfort zone, even though I've done this class before. But in that game, I really didn't do too much anyway, because I just built a meme character. So, yeah. I might be. We'll see.
I have some plans of classes I haven't played before, but I would feel comfortable in. Because martial classes I'm always going to do better because I don't have to think about too much mechanics. So I'm always going to be better in a game if I can play a martial class, but there's definitely a couple I've never touched, or a partial, like a warlock or a paladin or a cleric. Well, no, clerics. Yeah, I'd be most comfortable cleric as a magic user, but yeah, I've got some plans. But probably gonna lean back towards a martial class because I know my roleplay will be a lot better.
Oh, and we have... Okay.
Oh my gosh, there's quite a bit here.
Where was it?
I got it. Were any of your characters or any elements of your characters inspired by other existing characters you like? From books, games, series, media, etc. Thank you, White.
Thank you, White. I will stop right there because we can't hear Ari. Sometimes I forget to read that she's typed.
Oh.
Ari would be going back to a class she played a long time ago, but a different subclass, though. Sorry, Ari. Oh, you just have to honk at us. Go, Goose. Oh, Goose. So sorry. Back to White's question. Usually, almost everything I create, whether it be like any character I create, whether it be art or D&D role playing, I pick little bits and pieces of things that I like, and just sort of like mash them all together in a big gumball and hope that it tastes good. And sometimes it doesn't, but I'll pick little things like I started with a Han Solo and just like added things until I felt like it was developed enough. You know, you go with your classic, I love a himbo. Let's go with a himbo. And then just add little things. And I love British TV. So Blackadder actually was a big inspiration for Cult, and his parents and his backstory, and of course just like period dramas. I love a good Georgian themed Regency era kind of look. So actually all the seasons of Blackadder contributed to Cult's invention.
For Rose, there's a few ones. I think the cult aspect was inspired by Umbrella Academy, the character Klaus in season 2, when he like accidentally becomes a cult leader. That was inspired by that. And then the like murdering that was inspired by Gone Girl.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that's crazy.
And I don't know, the just like goofiness of Rose is just inspired by like your run-of-the-mill like sitcom like, goofy character. That's just Rose. Yeah.
Oh, that's so cute. I'm gonna die.
Nagheim's is, of course, the Final Fantasy Tactics Time Mage. Because Final Fantasy Tactics is the superior Final Fantasy game, and I'll fight about it. But also, I really like the story arc of just not all drow. It plays a huge part in, well, politics today, everything like that. So I really did just like that. Yeah, that's really it. I didn't grab from too much just because, well, I guess also the aesthetic of the time magic comes from a lot of depictions of the Sandman, Father Time, where it's always gold dust or things of the sorts. So that really came into play with the aesthetic of the magic, but everything else is literally just not all drow and the time wizard, time mage.
That is very interesting, actually, both of those little taps to, books and culture and whatnot. Both of you have always just been your characters that I forget that you also gain inspiration from other places. I thought it was like, no, it's just me. I'm just copying Blackadder. It's like, no, that's not how it works. Ari says, oh, you want to read?
Oh, I was gonna, but you can also read.
I'll rock, paper, scissors for you.
Here, I'll go.
Go for
Same
it.
as Check, Viria got little bits from the following characters: Zero from One Piece, General Darkness, and Shitty Sense of Direction. Cassandra from Dragon Age, of course. Tough Outside, Soft Inside, Love of Romance novels, Geralt of Rivia as a solitary figure, and Thorin from The Hobbit, very noble figure with lots of flaws, which could turn them into a villain under certain circumstances. Backstory I came up with by listening to lots of music.
Wow, Thorin from The Hobbit? That's so interesting. Oh my god, this was a really good question.
Love the Cassandra one. I was like, of course.
Yeah, of course, Cassandra. I love the Thorin touch too. That's very cool.
If there's one thing you need to know about Ahi, it's like she loves Dragon Age.
I do too.
I mean, like,
I think all of us do. I got 1K hours into Inquisition. I got 1K hours into Origin and like 300 into Dragon Age 2.
I don't want to be shamed, but this is my truth. I'm only playing Inquisition for the first time now.
That's fine.
There's nothing to be ashamed
There's so
about.
much of it, the books, all of that. I mean, in part of my original backstory for Nagheim, it was heavily inspired by Cole. Being persecuted and chased for being an apostate, for being a mage who can't control their magic, who has been trying to hide. Like, all of that was going to be, which is why, too, I started with Nagheim not knowing a lot of references and everything, because that was where it came from. But then I just kind of dropped it because it didn't feel fully right for the character.
It didn't feel like it fit.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, there's so many in the books and everything about it. There's little bits from there that I know I took, but I wouldn't say are my main inspirations. They're just tidbits. You don't need to be like into the games. There's so much out there, even just with the fan comics and art and everything. They give you so much information about the games that you don't fully need to be like elbow deep into them.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure there's a bit of Alistair in Cult for sure.
There definitely is Alistair in Cult.
Yeah, I mean they're not even that. They're great characters, but they do sort of fit into smaller, like into tropes. Yeah. But it's if you're gonna draw inspiration, Dragon Age is a great place.
I mean, two of my best friends, they're always making fun of me because they're like, yeah, Nagheim is just like a less put together version of Viv in Inquisition, who
Oh, Viv.
like they're just like Nagheim is genuinely just a less put together version of her, and I'm like, I mean, I guess all they're missing is a sugar daddy. That they're on their way.
There is one available, BTW.
And I will say, White, never played Inquisition, only a bit of Dragon Age. That's cool. I only played the first one too, and I touched Inquisition, but it didn't grab me. But I'm much more of a Mass Effect guy personally. Same developers and everything like that. But yeah, don't feel guilty about it.
Yeah, don't. First of all, the fact that you've touched on Origins means you've played the best one. Origins gives us the character of Shale. It gives us so many different stories. It really plants the seed for the entire series because how well Origins was done. It also gives us, why am I blanking on his name? Wow. Apostate Mage in Dragon Age 2.
Oh my god.
Ari's got it. Yes, Anders. It gives us the true Anders and the struggles and everything. Where in Dragon Age 2, Anders was just like some fuckboy.
I did do a pinup tattoo of Anders. Oh. I mean, I guess I don't do it anymore, but secret's out. I used to be a tattoo artist. I've retired. I didn't talk about it before because I didn't want to get questions.
Valid.
Don't ask me tattoo questions. Anyhow, let's distract from that. We have Baron Gazebolo asks, are there any plans for expanding the channel point rewards? Got a few camp points I want to burn, damn it. And then we were asking for ideas. If anybody design an NPC, maybe introduce a corpse, get to design a fallen hero that the party might find their final resting place, and take notes. I have to say goodbye to my partner.
Rollies.
Yeah.
Come on, Jason. Rollies.
So we're doing
Sorry,
rollies for the next question, Chuck.
I'm a bad host.
No, that's fine.
You're a great host.
But yeah, for the point stuff, I don't think we want to interrupt the game too much. Just
I mean,
because
we could always add in like highlight your message, just so it's like your message looks pretty.
Oh, it's there already.
Is it? Look, I have like 70k points. I don't look at the point system because I can't use them, so I'm like, I'm great at this.
Ari got 19, baby. I got an 11.
12.
20.
Oh
But
my God.
I'm gonna bow down because I just asked a question. How about that?
To Ari it goes.
Well, then, Ari, you and me got to do rollies because I got a 19 as well.
Oh, head to head.
The one time she rolls high.
I'll tell you what. I'll do this one. You do the next one because you need time to type it out anyway. Is that fair? I think you'll like this one too. Describe your character's ideal date.
I already got it. I already know it. What am I saying? It's been in my head for a long time. So, of course, like out in a cabin, not really in the city, like even far from towns. Snowing, the fire's burning, and they just get to sit read, have tea with their date / partner, and just get to talk about what they're working on and think or reading, and just get to share the night together and like peace and quiet with only the sounds of their voices and the fire.
Oh, I love a cabin in the winter.
No.
I think for Rosie it would be like a nice picnic and stargazing.
I actually, when I was writing some early story for Cult. I've got like a couple chapters here and there of his backstory, and it was the accidental date with Kat where they would go. She was working at the house, and she would take. It's why Nevermore, his father's horse, became sort of an integral part of the story. Is she would exercise Nevermore because Gazok wasn't riding as much, and Colt started joining her on rides, and they ended up going on a picnic, and they both discovered their love of poetry. So it was picnic, poetry, and riding horses on the grounds. And Ari says, picnic alone in nature, good food and drink in an intimate setting, then sex under the stars, sparring session, then sparring session. Hey-oh! I learned what a cloister was so that Colt and Cat could have sex in one.
That's fair.
And did we get everybody in that one?
Yeah.
Cool. Right on. And Ari is currently typing her question in the chat, so we'll see what that is. Just to let you know, Ari, you would have won the roll anyway. I got a 13, you got a 16.
Ayo.
Ayo.
Well, here you can
check out your lap. Oh,
Okay.
we're gonna see origami. Oh!
Ari's question. If you could play any of the other characters in the setting, including NPCs, or who would it be?
Oh my god, Daddy Durant. It's my hero.
I would play Odor.
Fuck yeah.
I'd play Cult's mom.
Yes, 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 yes. Actually, yeah.
I feel
Yeah.
like she would be like, with like a really sharp, fine-tipped rapier that's very ornamental. She would definitely be like a duelist proficiency fighter of some sort, but like the most elegant of fighters, and also the biggest like. I'm not mad at you all. I'm just disappointed.
Fuck, so much weight with those words.
And just, yeah, I think it'd be her.
I think the most chilled I have ever been in the campaign was when Colt got caught not going to school, and all she did was smile and said, "I know." And I fucking felt that in my bowels, and I wanted to run away and hide. I was just the most terrifying moment of the whole campaign was getting caught by Mom.
Every interaction with her, with everybody, in my opinion, has been my favorite, more than like the Ordor the Ordor interactions, because every time Jason played her, it was just so on point.
Yeah, she has a lot of, Jason plays her with like so much gravitas.
Yes.
And she's so unassuming, but you know there's so much under the surface there that you should just be afraid.
I love Annie's answer. She says, I'd be Jeremy, an arrogant rookie adventurer with a huge ego who learns a lesson in humility and comes to care for his party. Too bad that won't ever happen. What about you, Jason?
Well, I get to play everybody, so So I have like my cup runneth over with how many people I get to play.
Which one of us would you like to play?
Oh Jesus.
Who's your favorite, Daddy?
Who's your favorite? Who's your favorite?
Viria, obviously.
Well, I'm kind of torn because like
It's the ass.
It is that fucking that ass does it.
Don't never quit.
Pockets full of ass.
Overflowing with booty.
2 scoops of vanilla ice cream.
Double scoop.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't. I can't answer that actually.
All right, you love us all equally.
Well, no, but
Oh my god!
But he just doesn't want to come out and say he'd play Viria because of the booty. That's all.
I'll have you know my booty is spectacular, so I don't need to play Viria.
I have seen it.
I almost said Ari.
Can confirm.
No, I don't really know because yeah, like this is crazy. Like you guys are so ingrained in my head with your characters that I don't feel like I could play them. You know what I mean? Like I wouldn't be able to pull off a Rose and all her like beautiful charm. I wouldn't be able to do the gruff hard exterior of Viria. I'm an idiot, so I could play Cult, but I don't want to. No, because I've played rogues almost exclusively. I did play a barbarian in my last campaign that I played as a player, and it's super fun, but it's so close to Rose that I'm like, well, no, I've already done that. And I don't like magic users for the most part, just because it's so complex. I do not have the patience for it.
I don't think anyone who plays magic users likes magic users.
They just want to say at one point or another they did it.
Literally, I've only done wizards in one shot, so other than like my necromancer, but it also was like I think it was a weird cleric-y custom class. Didn't count.
It's an amazing
But
dragon.
like,
And it
I
goes
love
into
them.
a jar.
Fantastic. So they don't fly away. Well, we killed our barbarian, so who would like to answer a question now?
Answer a question. I have questions.
Yes.
I have some too. I mean, I'll go. I have one right in my face.
Have one right and put it in my face.
Well, what is your face's favorite thing to do in D&D?
Ooh.
Say that again. I'm sorry.
What is your favorite thing to do in D&D?
Oh, crumble bums.
Commit arson, says Ari. Save. Girl, save. The true reason I play a wizard.
I do really enjoy just like a good hearty fight. But the unexpected one-on-ones that just go perfectly. Or a little bit of role playing where Jason's making us roll and it just so happens to work out so narratively beautiful. It's when those
my nat
moments.
20 last week.
Yeah,
Just
baby.
like,
That's my favorite thing to happen in D&D, when the rolls just push the narrative so perfectly. And I find we've been really lucky, literally lucky in that aspect, that, you know, when poor Critical Role gets, you know, put upon by people saying, oh, they're writing it. It's like, no, that happens in so many games. It happens all the time. You can't play D&D wrong, but I honestly think I'm like, are you playing D&D wrong? But whatever. That's definitely one of my favorite things.
my favorite to happen to me and to watch is when people are having their one-on-one with the GM for backstory reasons. Watching people cry sometimes, watching the anger come out, watching the frustration, the happiness, the humiliation, all of the emotions that happens and you just sit back and watch it.
Mm-hmm.
But I also love when it happens because you get to express those emotions. And so I think that I would say that's my favorite, is just because there's so much in so little.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, that's very good. Oh, fun fact, the
Cheesy.
light domain cleric got sent to jail for arson.
Yes.
I don't know what that's like.
Her light domain and my assassination rogue were best friends. They met in prison.
Hi, Jay the Wizard.
It was amazing.
Nice to see you in chat.
Oh, hello, Jay.
Hello, wizard. And Rose is still dead. So
it's a long pee break for her. So
you know.
What was the question again? I'm sorry.
Your favorite thing about D&D? Like, I'll read it exactly.
Thank you.
What is your favorite thing to do in D&D?
Well, Ari's still chapping, typing and chatting. So chapping.
You're doing great, sweetie.
Yeah. Don't worry. The things that I think I like coming up with, I am always terrified whenever it's like off the script nowadays, because I feel like it really is like obviously it's improv, so I don't have that like security of like just having something to fall back on, and I don't know that on the spot kind of stuff for me hits with as much weight as when I actually sit down to talk it out and write it out. And with that in mind, the things I love doing most are creating the scary environments and just putting on the creep effect. I fucking love it so much.
You have made my skin crawl so much over the last couple of years.
Such a good way.
In the best possible way.
There are times I find people put the scary on and you're just like, but then there's like the scary that you're like, but I want more, but more.
It's like pressing a bruise to see if it hurts. You're like, yeah, I like it. Oh, more.
And it's
very much like that.
You guys kind of made it known to me that I could get you so good, like right from the beginning. It was post or pre-stream. Words are hard today. And there was a moment where I was describing a creature that was very liquidy, and I did this. And everybody's eardrums just bled, even Fred right now. See what I mean?
Yeah, I know. The flumps got Fred.
Yeah. And so once I knew I could do that stuff and like I'd get that reaction, of course I want more of that. So I kept pouring it on every chance I got. Not just that sound, but like in everything I tried to like describe something that would give the ick factor, and yeah. So I enjoyed that immensely.
And just
Ari
before
says,
you read it, sorry, just so Fred, you can think about it.
Yeah.
What is your favorite thing to do in D&D? Okay, go check.
Ari says, I just like committing to a character entirely, and you do. And really being able to get invested in the role play, both the heavy stuff and the bullshit. I feel lucky to be able to play with a group that does that so well. Also, challenging story-driven fights are fun as fuck. Agreed. It's when we first got together, how many times did we say, I can't believe I get to play with you guys. I can't believe it. And it's still fucking true to this day, is that you're always surprising me like Jason Karaoke does. Which I kept meaning to compliment you on, is you're always trying new things, and everybody's always like showing a little bit of the character that I didn't. Oh my god! Oh, I didn't realize that. Oh my god! And even just tonight, answering questions and finding out the influences, I was like, holy shit! I wouldn't even thought about that. Is I'm always finding out how much depth you guys all have in your storytelling abilities and your ability to role play and act, and how emotionally invested I get, and made me cry so much, and I love it.
For me, well, like all of the things you said. So that, but also like just doing like silly, stupid things that somehow can tie into a story. Like like building pillow forts.
Yeah.
Like somehow it's canon and it's good for Viri. Like cute things like that.
Oh, Viri's pillow therapy. She's gonna get soft with all those pillows.
No, it helps her stay hard.
In chat, we have from White, segue with that perfect moment at 20, with me, last game. What's the role worked with the narrative moment you've had across any campaign? And I have one where, with my campaign back in Nova Scotia, it was when my character first started to be more active about their plan for world domination and started to resurrect, and everybody caught me, but everyone rolled below 5, and I rolled a natural 20 on my deception. So they had no way of telling that my character was what they were doing and everything like that. So it just really worked out perfectly for just the narrative of, no, they're just innocent, and just doing their thing, and we're the paranoid ones. It's all on us. We're wrong, and you're good, and we love you. And I was like, yeah. And after that, the GM actually had it. Every time I would do something suspicious, I would text him, like, what I'm doing, so it would happen during night, or like when my character's away and things like that. So the players don't know, because they all failed their checks so hard from that point.
I think you know what? I always noticed all your natural 20s, not so much my own. But I can definitely say there was like a luck game is in our Murder Harbor game when I was playing Caligula. He took 1 point of damage the entire because it was a one shot, but it was because they were throwing so much damage at us. I took 1 hit point out of the entire thing and killed, I believe, 2 of the members. So that wasn't so much nat 20s, but just like incredibly lucky. And he did not have the luck feat. It was just a pyromaniac crossbow user rogue. But I always notice all of your nat 20s, and I never really noticed my own so much.
Yeah, that's funny because I can never remember. I'm sure it happens.
I remember Ari's because there's so few. But also in incredibly important moments, and it's if you're paying attention to stuff like the fact that poor Viria rolls very poorly on certain things, and then as soon as she gets into a fight, it's fucking beautiful. It is like a beautiful mind sort of happens, and just like everything becomes clear, and then as soon as it's over, the fog is back.
I basically says I wouldn't say these were rolls that work for the narrative because I generally roll like shit, but I've been able to roll well on pretty stupid stunts during combat.
You are the queen of the best stunts. What was the thing we were fighting where there was waterfalls and you did that crazy slide? That was so primo. I lost my shit.
Just like last time when she was stuck in that thing inside of it.
Oh yeah.
You were good for that.
And busted out.
Yeah. At least that's how I imagined it in my head.
Yeah.
Covered in guts and like bio and shit.
I'd say I'm kind of like I'm the same as Fred, because like I'm focusing too much on my own things out here that whenever the rolls happen, it's like, oh, you got, oh, okay, good enough for you. Okay, keep on going. Where was I? You know, like I'm in my own head too much to remember like the rolls. I know they do happen, but as to what and where and how it affected everything, I forget. Like,
honestly, I would love it. Like, we used to clip a lot more parts of the show when we had a little bit more time. But I mean, fans, clip your favorite moments and put them in the Oddities fam Discord. We love watching them. We love seeing your favorite parts of the show. Because I mean, there's so many clips that I'll go back and I'll just watch them for like an hour, and I'm like, oh my god, I remember this moment. Like, oh, this is so sad. Oh, that was so funny. Oh, this was a good moment.
You just reminded me, there is a clip from last game that I so want to get. And it's not the most work friendly one, but it's the one where Rose was like,
Pussy Mama.
No, not even Pussy Mama. Pussy Mama was great. But it was when Rose came back with all the food, and she's like, oh, and these are chicken feet. And you're like, how do you eat a chicken foot? And I'm like, Colt doesn't know how to eat a foot. And you died.
So good. I did die.
Oh my god.
That was such a good bit.
I gotta remember to clip that one, because that's when the rolls, like the verbal rolls, work in my favor. Is when I can make one of my players keel over dead with laughter. Nat 20, baby.
I died on the inside
but
of
I had
that.
some chicken feet yesterday, and I'm happy.
Oh, there you go.
I'm going to try chicken feet because I really want to try that
It's
now.
very yummy.
Looks like we got a Nova Scotia fan person in the chat with Jay the Wizard. Welcome, Nova Scotia.
Like Maritime's MVP.
There
They're
you
just
go.
boring.
All right.
Unless you're vacationing.
I think we got everybody on that last question. Rollies.
We do
Rollies.
have, actually, from Browen.
Oh,
Sorry to take everything away.
Oh yeah, I see it there.
I lost it. Do you have any headcanons for alternative universe versions of your character?
The good old AUs. I do, and Owen probably has seen a lot of certain artworks that I've done. More just elaborations of what I've already got with Cult. As for like modern, I'd imagine Cult's the Emilio Estevez of the Breakfast Club. I do have like an idea of like an 80s high school or 80s college kind of like football star boy for Cult. But the rich kid who like gets taught a lesson, or like, you know, meets the manic pixie dream girl, kind of a thing.
Meets Viria.
Gets his ass handed to. So.
I don't understand the question, so I'm gonna say no.
Like an alternate universe would be like, what would modern day Rose be like, or what would science fiction Rose be like?
if you have considered it. If you haven't,
if you've
then
considered it, yeah. I haven't really. I love like the 80s, 70s, and 80s fashion. So I like putting characters in those clothes.
Mhm.
Just gives me an excuse to draw that.
Well, maybe she would be just Klaus Hargreaves from the Umbrella Academy. There you go.
Fair enough. Yeah, absolutely.
I have thought of Nagheim would be more of like a gray Jedi, living more in solitude,
Oh.
and kind of one of those Jedi that people go to when they need assistance, but keeping away from the dark side, but also never joining the Jedi Council,
Okay,
and
that's
gaining a repertoire throughout the solar systems and universe of being like kind of like Yoda but neutral, and refusing to join the feud because they thought it was all stupid, and only helping not because the Jedi Council asked them to, but because people came and were like, "We need you." But yeah,
No, I've never
I
even
might
thought
like
about
Star
this.
Wars.
Yeah, I never even thought about the Star Wars thing. That's quite a. I mean, I mentioned Han Solo earlier, so I guess that kind of makes sense. Yeah.
So Ari's, I'm reading this.
We're fighting over Ari.
So if you want to do it at the same time, because there's a lot of M's there. 1, 2, 3. Modern Viria
would have a
well,
motorcycle
okay.
and a big dog. When she would have dreams, I win to ride in the sidecar and fight monsters at a supernatural when it was somewhat good. Agreed. With the rest of the party.
Oh, that's an AU I can get into because I am currently rewatching Supernatural. I usually only watch up to season 5, but I'm trying to complete it this time, and it's tough. It's tough. But if I can watch Dean just suffer, I can probably stick with it.
I've never watched Supernatural.
It's a monster of the week kind of thing, but that's a good AU for Viria, for sure. Because lots of leather and a motorcycle. And a dog that probably wears goggles.
I think modern Eggheim would be the stereotypical newt and just like stay inside and read everything on Wikipedia.
You'd be the tech person.
Oh,
be the one
like
that we call.
in Kim Possible, fucking what's his name? Every time it's like she has something to do, it's always on the phone, and she's Wade, yes, and everyone's gonna be like, "Oh my God, Eggheim, we get to meet you in real life," and it turns out to be a hologram.
Oh.
And he's still like, they're just still in their room surrounded by like 50 computers. Yes.
All right. Well, at this point, we're going to take a quick little 5-minute bathroom break, and then we'll jump back into everything. Yeah. I kind of felt it coming off of UL. So there you go. So stick around, folks. We got a lot more questions here, and we're looking for way more questions for you. While we're gone, type some questions in the chat, and we'll go through them as soon as we get back.
Or
So
just scream in chat.
that too. All right. See you guys in a bit.
Okay. Bye.
Welcome back, everybody. All right, on to the second half of our Q&A session here. Ooh, lolly. Now, if you're just joining us, you can write questions for our cast members and crew in the chat room, and we will answer them as we see them. But for now, it's time for rollies.
Rollies! Ding, 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 ding. I'm gonna use my Scully dice, my grave dice.
Go for it.
6.
2?
Oh, big old dust.
Do not tell me.
17.
Okay. And
7.
go ahead, Nagheim.
Oh, shit. I didn't even think of any. You know what? What has been your favorite part of the campaign so far? Making everyone think.
The cats.
What a cop-out answer from Ari, her saying all of it.
All of it.
Pick a spot. Pick a part, I should say.
Of course, it's all of it.
You obviously love all of it, but what's something that like is standing out to you in your brain when you think of the campaign?
I like the flying boat.
The what? I'm sorry?
The flying boat.
The airship.
Hmm.
Well, I don't know if it was an airship, but in my mind, it was a boat with sails, but it flew.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly, it's a little self-serving to say, but
Everything I
Like-
say.
Wow.
it
What
was
was that be?
going into Cult's backstory because it was so nerve-wracking and everything was like so surprising because I had no idea what was gonna happen.
Also bad.
I mean, at least I'm not the only one that's gonna say something about my own character.
Well, of course, we love our own characters as much as we love everyone else.
It's true. I still think about all the time the moment where Nagheim had been kneeling before Shar and yelling at her and crying and getting all of that, having that moment of thinking that Cult betrayed them and that they were imprisoned and all of that stuff. Still one of my favorite parts. Ari's tapping away. Oh, chonker.
It was very rewarding when we got to get to know Rose led a cult and tried to murder her wife. And then finding out it was all for a pretty decent reason. It was just all like, well, the cult was an accident. I murdered my wife because she's evil. I wanted to do evil shit. So we were like, oh, okay. Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Early things.
Guess I get keep girl boss.
And
Guess
very-
I murder girl boss.
Also witnessing, I mean, obviously witnessing various trauma is awful, but it was very satisfying. And totally getting the wool pulled over Cult's eyes with old what's his nuts.
Old what's his nuts?
Old what's his nuts. And be like, he's not that bad of a guy. And they're like, oh, no, but he is a bad guy. Oh, a really, 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 really bad guy. Shit. And then finally, most recently, it was Nagheim's. No, I've been acting fine. I am not fucking fine. And that just like my realization, and then Cult's realization is like, oh my god, they're not fine. There's been a lot of justification going on. Yeah, that was
Oh, trauma.
yeah, it was I love, yeah, I guess all the traumatic stuff has been pretty much my favorite.
It creates like really good character stories and it gives us explanations for why each player reacts in specific situations the way they do. Why someone's more short-tempered, why someone's more relaxed, why somebody is more absent, whatever. Why someone's more secretive. Like,
And
as we find the trauma, it just explains it, and it's like, oh, that's cool.
it's Jason sliding those needles in and then wiggling them. You're like, ouch, ouch, ouch. Oh, it feels so good. I want more. Eat it up, eat it up. He's so good at exploring our character's trauma.
Ari
Trauma.
says, I fucking love exploring various stuff, but I freeze up whenever I need to do something. Lol. I eat it up as an observer, but then I'm like, fuck, I need to do something. Anytime backstory stuff happens for any of us.
Yup.
How about
Jason?
you, Jason? Do you have any part that like sticks out in your mind the most when you think of it? Because I know your mind is full of so
the
much
world.
that we're all trying to pick out when we can.
I don't know. I don't think one thing. It's hard to say because I mean, until you get through it, like the last thing you do is kind of what stands out in your brain, and then it's like the things that are coming down the line that you haven't done yet. And sometimes like the things you like or the things we put out there, like they work or they don't, and when it doesn't work, you're like, well, fuck, you know. But yeah, I can't think of like anything that stands out more than the others.
I mean, I can maybe reword it a bit differently for you. What is something that you have done in the campaign that you've been nervous about, but that turned out like that you're like, oh, thank God they loved it. That like you were like really nervous about though.
That's a bad question for me, actually.
You're like everything, the entire campaign, everything that comes out of my mouth.
When I go off script.
We'll go to a different question. Yeah.
You know damn well that question's coming back at the end of the campaign.
So elusive.
Coming
All
back,
right.
whether it's on
Okay,
stream or
gives Jason
not. I
more
want
time
that
to think
answer.
about it.
Yeah, yeah.
I
So-
want to know.
Rollies.
Rollies.
I'm not gonna roll because I asked. The last.
Oh, okay. That's fair. That's fair.
That's cocked.
Ah.
19.
No.
Who beats a 19?
Come on, Ari.
9.
Hey. 11.
11.
Okay. Fire away, Chuck.
Whoop whoop. All right. Let's. Some of these have been asked already. Oh, okay. This is a good one. What advice would your character, as they are now, give to a younger version of themselves?
Don't trust strangers you meet in the woods.
You know what? That's very good advice.
That is in general.
Yeah. Learn to breathe. When things get tough, take that breath and think. Think things through.
Appearances aren't everything. And, but also leave room in your head for change. Don't attach yourself so concrete to an idea of what you should be that it's all you can think about. Learn to change.
It can Cult also give that advice to younger Nagheim.
Oh, you too. Gather round, children.
Yeah.
think Ahi is still pondering.
There's thoughts in that head,
Mhm.
and I want them.
Or maybe she's like, I don't need advice to my younger self.
Younger Viria was
I am
perfect. Oh no, I've given her hair as as long as me. She can do the now. We've lost
Technically,
her.
I can do it too, but I live in a ponytail. Don't take yourself too seriously.
Jinx.
You and me, Coke. Or a Pepsi, as it were.
To be fair, Dr. Pepper for me.
Oh, Dr. Pepper. Root beer. Dr. Pepper,
Solid.
close second.
Solid.
Good choice, good choice.
Is there something Jason would tell Jason at the beginning of the campaign as advice? Since you don't have a character, I thought, you know.
That's good, that's good.
You know all those things that you thought were a good idea to include at the time, but now it's creating so much work? Don't do that next time.
Love that. I love that.
Yeah.
You know
oh
those
my
fancy
God.
intros that you thought would be over like after the fourth thing, and then you kept going with it, and now you're writing text all the time, and now you got to come up with some witty things to open every show? Yeah, fucking don't ever do that again.
Honestly, me thinking of the joke intros as well. I'm like, some days I'm like, fuck, I didn't think of something. Ugh.
Chip Rogers as a backup plan.
That's
Sometimes-
backup plan.
Not it's sometimes it's not there.
I will not stand for this Chip Rogers slander. It's perfect every single time.
Oh, I love you so much.
But
Me too.
I feel that, Chuck. Like, if you guys haven't noticed, like these last few months or so, I've been relying heavily on like just like, fuck it, I don't have the brain power to like come up with something. I am quoting some other bullshit that sounds cool. There you go, Tolkien.
Well, like,
Why not?
The nice thing with quotes though is like you're like it applies to it, but you did not have to think of it, and it's worded nicely.
True. It feels like
Song
cheating
lyrics?
in a big way, but true.
Nah.
I use quotes all the time for shit, so it's fine.
Yeah.
It's coming from me.
All right. Another round of rollies?
Another round of rolling.
Who answered that one? Or who asked
Answered
that
it?
question?
I asked it.
Okay. So you sit out this time.
I'll sit out.
See if we can get somebody else. Maybe. What do we got? What do we got?
I got a nat 20.
There we go.
Boom. Rolling large.
For not for once actually, but yeah. I was just gonna have if your character was to be another class, or if you've thought of another class, not your multi-class though, what would they be?
Bard. On the aspect of he has to be good in social situations, I would have made him less awkward and more charming. A little bit more like Tens, honestly.
Those tens a bard.
Tens was my backup character for a
Why
while.
are you saying that?
Until he developed too far on his own that I was like, no, it wouldn't feel right to play him now. But at the very beginning, Tens and Nell were going to be backup characters. If something happened to Cult, then one of his family members would step in. But now it's developed in a different. It's developed too far. Like when you become friends with someone, you're like, yeah, I could get down with that, and then they become like a sibling, and you're like, nope, can't do it anymore.
I think Rose could be a cleric on the account of her potion hoarding.
Oh.
I mean,
Universe.
your cult can be what you worshipped, and it's like,
Yeah.
who knows? It might have been a fey creature that answered you, or something else. It doesn't have to be a god. That So it would still work with her being atheist.
Yeah, like an archfey or something.
Exactly.
That's cool.
It would make sense. She's like, cure wounds, grabs a potion, smacks it over your head.
Ari says, I think I answered this at one point in the past, but Oath of Vengeance Paladin, slowly evolving into an Oath of Devotion Paladin. Oh wait, it's Ari. Tee.
Why does Ari have a deeper voice than I do? I think Nagheim would have been a monk. Or
Not even the
a
ninja monk,
warlock.
just a monk.
Well, a monk. Well, the whole point of monks, like, depending on the upbringing, if like Nagheim was brought up more to focus on their inner self and things like that, it can help with that. Or warlock, because if the false Raven Queen got through, promising power and all of that, it could have swayed Nagheim into being a warlock. Yeah. Also, yeah, I also want those Pringles.
I know.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm looking at them and I'm like, oh, I want to go to the depth and get Pringles now.
I might go grab candy
Let's
because I
end the
have some.
stream. I can go buy Pringles.
Pringle
want
party.
I want pizza Pringles.
All right.
I'm
good
actually gonna go
question.
grab my snack, and since I just asked, I'm gonna
Oh.
not be here for Roberts. So
Perfect.
All right.
All right. In 3. Get ready, Fred. In 3, 2, 1. Brapapa. Mother shit dicks.
As if I've
19
not
again.
Hey. 17. Hey.
11.
Not good.
Oh,
So go ahead.
Jokes. Where are we here? Ooh. What kind of familiar or companion animal would you like to have or think your current character might have?
I mean, Rose kind of already has. Ow.
That's very true. But like, maybe if you're a ranger style character and your companion animal could help you,
It would be Owl still.
it would still be Owl.
But I guess with magical ability.
I was talking about this at brunch today with my friends. I was like, Capuchin Monkey! Because he's a rich dick, and of course he'd have some strange exotic animal, and it would be a capuchin. Because I love them so much.
What do they call those
Cool.
things that people bring on airplanes? Their comfort animal or something?
Yeah.
What is the actual term?
Therapy animal?
Yeah, something like that. I forget.
That sort of
Emotional
feels right.
support.
Emotional support
Yeah,
animal.
yeah, yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
thank
yeah.
you.
Ari says, oh, you go.
He says, I kind of want Viria to have a cute little bunny familiar, but it has really foul mouth. Oh my god.
It's like Wiggly's nose is like,
Ari,
the fuck you looking at?
next campaign I want that.
That would be so good. That's sort of a. I forgot about Owl. My bad. But we have a familiar Albert. But yeah, I was like a capuchin or a raccoon would be good if I was a ranger. The question, Nagheim, or wait, you're Xander today. The question was, what kind of familiar or companion animal would you like to have in a campaign, or that your current character would have? Obviously, you have Albert, but if there's another option.
Beside a capuchin monkey.
Just a
'Cause I
loud
just-
ass peacock.
That was a good peacock!
that was.
It came at a
Don't-
cost.
Don't hurt your voice.
Oh, son of a dick.
Oh, Ari says, I already have something planned familiar-wise for our next campaign. The fuck you looking at? Oh, Snuggles.
Yeah, there's got to be that juxtaposition of like the foul mouth and like just the most precious name, saccharine sweet. Yeah.
Pearl.
guess like a dog or a dragon.
A dragon
Ooh,
dog.
a dragon dog? Ooh, a dragon dog. That'd be cool. Like a little dragon? Like a, what are they called? Sprite dragons? Or, no.
The fairy dragons.
Yeah. something
But
like
I think like I would love to play a character that actually has like a pet dragon like attached to them or something where they could use it as like a mount and battle companion.
that. Ooh.
I would like to remind us that Vera is right there, like, Nagaheim, come on.
First of all, Nagheim does not want to mount Viria.
Who says anything
Good.
about mounting?
Because I got plans in the campaign, so.
I have art plans now.
I got her. Favorite part of the campaign, right there.
Pseudo dragon. Thank you, White.
Sorry, but when you first said a dog or a dragon, my brain went to like the Bloodborne thing where like the crows had the dog's head, but they still
Oh my
barked like a
God.
crow.
Oh god, I hate it. I hate those.
Bring them on.
Yeah.
Bring them on.
But those wouldn't be for Nagheim. Nagheim is like, nope. I like my raven. I tried other things at one point. Didn't feel right. Keeping the raven.
It's been very useful and fun to have around.
Yes.
And barks like a dog.
All right.
Whatever.
Rollies.
I'll stand out of this one.
Okay.
5.
Oh.
9.
Okay.
Nice.
Go Ari.
12.
Did you want Fred to ask a question while you type yours out, and then we'll do yours after?
Give her 1 second.
Okay.
She'll have it typed
That
up
was a
in-
lot. And
She'll have it typed up in 2 seconds.
okay.
1 honk for no, 2 honks for yes.
I understood.
That sounded like a
I mean, we did ask for a honk.
We did.
Yeah.
Here we go.
All
What's a
right.
food everyone generally likes, but your character hates?
Oh, fish. I early on I played Cult as not liking seafood, and I don't think I committed to it much, but I do like seafood and sushi and junk, but Ari says mushrooms. We know all about your mushrooms.
I know Viri likes blood sausages, I think. Is that something you...
She
Ari
likes
also
burnt
like?
toast. That is definitely
And
canon.
burnt toast.
Yeah.
That was of note to me.
She likes meat in general, she says, and burnt toast. Yeah.
But does Ahi like burnt toast?
That's a good question.
Cooking sherry.
I know you don't like cooking, Sherry, because we saw your face on the stream when you tried it that one time.
The opposite of that is I do actually, she says, my toast needs to be very toasty. I know Cult likes bourbon, drinks bourbon. I do not touch any hard liquor whatsoever. I don't like it. If I drink, it's gonna be light beer. The shittiest light beer you can find.
Yeah, I know with Nagheim, I like to eat. I like food. I like to have big portions. I like to snack throughout the day. Ari has been the only one who's told me that she's noticed it, but I'm only ever saying Nagheim really eats dinner. Nagheim has
Yeah.
tea for breakfast, never has a lunch, literally only eats dinner.
Yeah, Nagheim
So,
never eats. Which
It's
is
like,
probably why we're always trying to encourage you to eat.
but yeah, Nagheim is one of those. I've played it off as would rather have tea than eat, and only eats because the body actually needs it.
Rose
Like
can
like a
drink
programmer.
a lot and drinks a lot. I'm not someone who drinks a lot. Nothing against it. I guess.
Oh, no.
I accidentally found myself in sobriety, and now I'm just like, I'll have one drink, and I'm like, KO.
Fair.
Yeah, I accidentally, I put on about 30 pounds during COVID, so I stopped drinking beer, and I just haven't really gone back to it. And I'm like, that's cool. Let's do that. So it's usually once a week I'll have like a beer with brunch. Get day drunk and then have a nap and then come play D&D. It's like the best day of the week.
Awesome. All right. I think that's another round of rollies coming up.
Rollies!
Go.
Questions in chat.
Pink dice.
Just dropped it.
Did we
Big
have
ol'
one in chat? Did I miss anything?
No, I'm just saying reminder in chat if you do have it.
Oh yeah, everyone in chat, if you have questions for the players or the campaign itself, write them in chat and we will answer them right away.
Now, or forever hold your peace, motherfuckers.
Jesus.
You've been all about the quiet threats today, and I'm here for it.
This is why I want her mic live all the time instead of muting, because these are the little like Rose/Fred secrets that we never get to hear. It's all like her own private little Idaho in her head when she mutes the mic.
Idaho?
It's
no
a
one,
movie, guys. Come on now.
No one knows about Idaho. No one wants to know about Idaho, though. We
You
want to
watch
know
the
about your
movie,
secrets.
It's really good.
I got a shirt in Idaho from the Walmart when I was about 8 years old. It said, "From Idaho?" ? Yes, I am. So I bought it because no one knows potatoes.
Awesome sauce. So, what did everybody get?
I got an 8.
8?
14.
14? 10?
No, Ari's not doing it because she just asked the question.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I got it. Fred?
17.
You beat me by 1.
Ooh.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Strongest here, it's me.
Oh, don't do that.
How do you drink 2 beers at once?
If your
On a
character
Saturday.
was a tarot card major arcana, which one would it be?
Oh, I wish I knew tarot cards. I have
That's
those
my
critical role tarot cards, but I don't know
Filth.
them.
that's my filthy secret that I like to keep from everyone. I know absolutely nothing about tarot cards. Same with astrology. I know nothing.
Okay, whatever.
I know I'm a bull. So I'm gonna say the tower because wizards have towers. I don't know what it means though.
Oh, now I'm thinking of Persona 5. Hold on.
Abby is laughing because she came up with an Oddities major arcana. And that's why I asked that question, because I knew it!
I don't really understand. I
don't
know
know what that
basic
means.
tarot and cult would be the Fool. Hanging upside down, seeing the world from a different perspective. My knowledge of tarot and astrology is minimal at most. Sometimes people ask me, I'm like, I don't really know anything.
People
Like,
always
please
assume
don't
I
ask me.
know, and I'm like, I'm gay, but I'm not great at it. I know, like everyone's also like, RuPaul's Drag Race, you must know everything, and I'm like, I know the winner.
One
And
can
I
have
also forget their
different
names.
interests.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Alright, so according to Ari, Rose would be the Fool, Cult would be the Wheel of Fortune, Nagaheim would be the Magician, and Viri would be Strength. And
I don't know what the magician means, but I just feel like that's cheating. With the,
no, it's a
with
good
the
one.
magician with
But-
the
okay,
wizard.
The Tower is actually a really bad card, so you don't want to be the Tower.
I almost said death for Nagheim because I
No,
also
Death
know
is
that
a really
card.
good card. But I don't know if you would, I don't know about that.
Jason.
Oh,
I'm the death card.
No,
I'm ever present. I'm
Jonathan,
looming
Jason,
over
give
your
us-
heads.
Give us
You need
Jonathan,
to-
Ahi.
yeah. Name an NPC and I'll give the tarot I gave them. So, what's an NPC you're curious
Wait, you
about,
gave
Jason?
every single NPC a tarot card reading? Jesus.
Just like the important ones.
Odor.
They are all important. Thank you. Yeah, do Odor. Oh, no.
No.
It's
Well,
okay.
fuck
I
you.
mean, at
Odor
least
doesn't like you anyway.
Durant, maybe?
He's dead. He's death card.
What about what's her name? The paladin. I can only think of her child's name right now.
So,
Durant is the emperor. Oh. What does that mean? I won't make you
the
tell
emperor.
me what it means. You got a sore throat.
Oriana.
Oriana is justice. That checks
Yeah.
out.
I love this. Yeah. That's very cool. Yeah.
I only asked this question because I wanted to pick at Ari's brain.
There you go. Good
I
brain.
know
have
you
a-
went on a whole rant about being gay, not knowing astrology. Like, that was not for you. That was for... This question was
Oh, yeah.
for Ari.
I assumed it was for Ari, but
Read the room.
but it fit the context, and in my own world, I am still the main character. So.
Sure, baby. Sure.
Even
I'm
though
your
in my world I'm
sidekick.
not. Yes, love that.
100%. I will be happy being the
Tales
sidekick.
of Xander and Chuck. Oh my god, that would be so dumb. I love it.
The dumbest buddy comedy ever.
We have a question in chat that's really
We have-
interesting.
Go for it.
Ooh.
Does
Yep.
Critical Role streams now affect the lore that in your game, Jason?
Guilty confession right now. There was one episode of Critical Role in this current campaign, and I've stopped watching. I have to admit, this campaign is just not doing it for me, so I've checked out completely from Critical Role this season. But thinking back to, because I know the Mighty Nine campaign takes place like almost a few decades after Vox Machina, and our campaign takes place a few years before even Vox Machina. Oh man, this is a little tricky to answer.
I
So
think there's
there-
an influence, but like not directly.
yeah, like there are definitely, obviously, the entire world building that they've set up in the campaign guide that all dictates like where we can go and things we can do, and there are people and events that I kind of pull from to kind of populate the world and everything. But again, sometimes that bites myself, or that bites me in the ass, where I'll mention certain things. Like I think it was in Marquette when we went into the Tomb of Horrors, where I dropped little hints about Vecna. And at our time in the campaign, Vecna hasn't ascended or anything like that. And I think one of them mentioned like, oh, you mean Vecna the demigod? I'm like, no, that didn't happen yet. So little things like that do pop up where it's like, well, you know, I don't expect my players to know like the entire canon or anything like that. But I hate to be the guy where it's like, oh no, pull back the reins on that. No, that's not, you know, because I feel like, you know, everybody's trying to do their best to kind of keep in the world, but then it's like I have to be the bad guy and say like, no. So that kind of sucks. But does it affect the lore? No, because I keep to... This is going to be weird, and I'm going to try and keep this brief, but I kind of look at how I was taught to go about my career, my real life career. I try to use that the same way I look at using Matt Mercer's world, where someone told me while I was going through massage college that massage therapy can be anything you want. Even though they're teaching us one certain way and one certain direction to go with massage therapy, that doesn't necessarily mean that is who you have to be. And I think I'm one of the very few people who graduated taking that with me where I went. So other people, they stick to a very particular brand of massage. I kind of develop it as I go. So the way I look at Critical Role is the same kind of perspective, where I see what they've done. That doesn't mean I'm not going to fuck with it. So there are a whole bunch of things that that I'm looking at without giving anything away, and I'm pulling it apart, and I'm tweaking it in a way that it could possibly change the way people are going to look at the world going forward. So,
I mean, as a player, I've been finding that, like, you're like, this is our starting point. And yes, Ari said we can't fuck with the Briarwoods. I get it. You want to fuck them. Calm down. But I feel like you're like, we're starting with this, but personally, maybe I just haven't noticed it, but I feel like, yeah, there's the Critical Role world, but it's almost just developing into the Oddities world. From
This
there,
really feels like our world.
yeah, it
like
had our base.
game.
Like, we're like, yeah, thank you guys for starting us off and giving us this and having our places that we can use. But it really does feel like you're like, yep, we're borrowing from them, but we're turning the world into the world of the Oddities.
It
Well,
feels
yeah.
like we're like in a multiverse, and like where we are, it's like our own little universe that's part of the critical world, like multiverse. So like,
I think we
kinda
can
how I see it.
safely say it's like so many people play in Faerun that it doesn't matter. It's just a setting, and it's the way we tell our story, the way we develop our characters in this world. It's we're utilizing a setting
mhm.
rather than heavy into the lore. It's fun to sort of have like to go to Whitestone, and it's fun that we're that we did something for Eskel and Randarian, and it's those little touches are always going to be like, ooh, little fan stuff for us, and but it really feels like you've built the Jason game, and it is. Go ahead.
No, just when you mention those little like cameo kind of things, I think this will answer Xander's question that I didn't want to answer before, because one of the things I was kind of proud of was showing a little bit of the origin story of Jester's mom, Marion, and how she developed her agoraphobia. I forgot about that.
I did too. That's also very good.
That was really.
It
that
was
really
really,
good.
really good.
I just
Very much enjoyed
added
this.
that I think utilizing the setting is what Matt Mercer intended for
Mhm.
fans to do in the first place.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That really completes it.
Yes.
Yeah. And I will correct Ari slightly. You couldn't go and kill the Briarwoods. They can absolutely kill you.
100%. We were not high enough level to take them out.
No, you're still not. I'm kidding.
Ari's like, lore, actually,
Wait a
I know the
second.
levels
Lore
of when they
master.
kill them, so,
She's typing her review at the moment.
And at which time we will go to another question from White, I believe.
Yes.
Will you guys be doing one-shots either in Oddities lore or completely different with rotating DMs? So Jason gets to be a player sometimes. Looking out for all of them forever DMs out there.
We have.
Yeah. Oh God. As
Probably
soon
will
as
again.
we get closer to the end of this campaign, I'm going to be running a mini series, not a one shot, so we can have Jason as a player and allow him to develop a character. It's not going to be a big long campaign because I can't DM that much. I will say it's going to be, my style is very much more improv, and it's real messy. So it's gonna be interesting. I'm very nervous and I have some ideas, but they keep changing and moving around and stuff like that. So as soon as I feel that pressure on my neck, I'll start writing more for sure. I'm very excited about it, but also terrified. I mean, I forget that I DM'd for like 3 solid years. So like, I've forgotten everything I know.
We also had. We also played a one shot with our friends Epic Fumbles.
Mhm.
Fred in the chat, so if you wanna go check them out and go scroll back in our episodes to see that. I think
The
we're
other
supposed
Fred. Very handsome
Yes.
Fred.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
as handsome as me. But yeah, so I think we will want to play again. We just need to figure that part out. And Ahi did finish writing her rebuttal, so I'm gonna go and read that. What makes you think Vira's goal is to kill them with that little emoji of like,
As I said, she wants to fuck them. She wants to get up on their faces.
Listen,
Or
if
have
we
that
gotta
up
role
on
play
her
that,
face.
we gotta role play that. I'm just, you know.
That's all my miniseries is gonna be, is vampire fucking. Hold on to your hats.
All right.
gotta get that briar wood.
Ooh.
I did not come up with that. Someone in chat said that.
It's all good. So it's going to have Matt Berry, New York City.
So,
Absolutely.
This is why Daytime is asexual, because everyone
Matt
here
Berry?
is so horny.
Oh,
Somebody had to not be horny for once. That's all. It's just to balance the group out, not the party, just the group.
I became a vampire to suck blood and fuck forever. God, I love
speaking. Oh, I can answer this one real quick. Speaking of vampires, have you ever thought of trying World of Darkness and Vampire the Masquerade? This is the only campaign I would ever willingly try. It's just because I know this world. All the other worlds for like Dungeons and Dragons and all these other places, they terrify me because I don't know anything about them. The only other I considered this a few weeks ago, actually, thinking about if there was any other campaign setting that I would try to develop at some point, and I thought Star Wars. But then yeah, it would be so awesome. There's so much, and I could rip from it as easily as I could Critical Role. The only thing that is holding me back from that is their dice system is so confusing. I couldn't do it. Even apps, I couldn't do it. So
You can easily change D&D though into Star Wars.
yeah.
When I did a Star Wars campaign years and years and years and years ago, we did D&D 3.5 as Star Wars. I'm just saying, it very easily translates over. It's an option.
There you go. So that would be the only one, if anything. But yeah.
I don't think I'd ever go back to it, but yes, as a teenager in the 90s, I 100% played Vampire the Masquerade. Not only tabletop, I LARPed. And I'm not
Hey.
ashamed.
You shouldn't be.
I was a proud LARPer. It was so much fun, and I met so many amazing people through it. And yeah, it was it was something. It was some.
Ahi just said that she wants a one-piece D&D campaign, and I, for one, thinks it's a better idea than Star Wars D&D.
You're not
but yes,
invited to my
also a
game.
bit of Vamp the Masquerade ages ago.
Nice.
Which is,
I did.
I'm
the
on board
mage.
for one-piece D&D.
Yeah, I did mage, which is like vampire, but different type of base story. That's all. I'm mostly a D&D.
There's a
nerd.
lot of vampire love
That's
going on in the chat room right now.
That's
Yeah,
how I
awesome.
grew up.
That's awesome.
Buffy the Vampire D&D. There you go.
Oh, that would be cool. I know
That
Sunnydale.
would be really
Hells yeah.
cool. I would be super into that.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't remember any of the factions in Masquerade. What's the one that start with a V? As in a V.
Like the Alien
X-Files
TV
D&D?
show?
Okay, yeah. X-Files D&D.
I don't know the X-Files at all.
Oh. Dude, how do we feel about Star Trek?
I'm
If we're
currently
gonna start
tapping
taking
into
my
season
Star
6.
Wars.
Are you enjoying it? Okay. Oh, that breaks my heart a little, but I totally accept that answer.
It's very dated, but I do love the characters. It's just it's dated. So I'm taking it with a grain of salt, but
Okay.
What is the
I am stoked to get to Picard because I'm hearing so many great things about that. So
Next generation Star Trek.
Yeah.
But that's totally acceptable.
Look,
It's weird too, because we always usually on the same level with media and stuff. But okay.
But that's me. Like we said before,
that's fair.
we started streaming tonight. Was that I think that Blink 182 was mentioned, and there are like
Oh yeah.
huge gaps in my pulp culture and like awareness of things that I was in, and then I was out, and then I was in, then I was out, and things like X-Files, Star Trek Next Generation was like the time where I tuned out of TV completely. So now I'm going back and I'm looking at some of the stuff, and it's like, oh yeah, this is cool, but I wouldn't power through it all. So yeah, I'm being picky and choosy.
X-Files D&D, he says Mulder's a blood hunter obsessed with beings from the outer planes, and Scully is a paladin.
See,
good
that stuff just.
Yeah.
So,
very that.
Okay.
but I
grew up
respect the
with-
fans. Like, and from what I've heard, I missed out a great opportunity with X-Files because apparently it's like right up my alley at the time. But unfortunately,
I mean,
we're.
I grew up
No,
with
I
Star
can't. It's very
Wars,
dated.
and Star Trek.
Yeah.
Like, on par with my household. I mean, I still choose Star Wars over Star Trek because it resonated with me more. So it's like, I get where you're like, I'm excited to see parts, but I'm not enjoying part of it. And I also get Chuck being like, I mean, the fair, but how dare you?
Well, I found that if someone doesn't like something, you can't really convince them otherwise. I'm old enough to realize like you don't have to like everything, and it's
And I
totally
mean-
fine to not like a thing.
Some people are entitled to their wrong opinions.
I respect Jason's opinion on media, so because we are almost always totally aligned. But it's interesting. I'll get you to elaborate if you want to in private.
Oh, no worries. It's not a terrible thing. But you know what's a great thing? Rollies. Here we go.
Rollies!
3, 2, 1.
11.
$11. 1. Oh. Fred?
13.
13.
Oh, big tool.
All right, let's see.
Vontrue, thank you, White. Yes, it was Vontrue. I played Vontrue. Basically a Julian Sands ripoff.
Which to do? This is kind of a strange one. You guys let me know if this is going to be a good question for you guys or not. What about your character never gets old? Something you feel your character can't get enough of, or you, as the player, can't get enough of exploring with your character.
Oh my god, the foot fetish jokes, obviously. It's hilarious because that shit carried over from like an art Discord where I just think they're so neat. I like drawing feet, so everyone's like, okay, Chuck, we get it. You got a foot fetish. I'm like, but I don't. And then it carried over into the game, and I was like, this is hilarious. I want this forever. Right up into the end of the campaign. Keep the foot jokes coming. And also this as a reaction to cult dealing with anything.
I think we have a screenshot of you in that pose for when you're not here.
I've used it as a meme.
Yeah. Fred, how about you?
For me, it's whenever there is loot or something or a situation that requires Rose's read. Like there's a while where she kept getting scrolls. I was like, I can't read. These. They're just paper. The reading jokes I find really funny.
Nice. Ari writes Viri's sense of direction or bizarre taste in food.
Yes. Cooking Sherry never gets old.
Yeah.
Zando? I don't know why I just called you Zando.
Yeah,
don't
that's a
either.
first. You were testing out a nickname and
In the garbage.
yeah. Zando Calrissian. Ha ha ha.
I only get one good nickname per campaign.
I don't know. Like, I genuinely don't know. There's a few things I tried to do, but like, I forget them. Like, Nagheim not knowing, like, phrases and things like that because of knowing so many languages. But I don't always keep up with it because it's so a lot of times it naturally just comes out. And then I'm like, fuck, I should have fucked that up. You know? So it's like, I kind of failed on that one because a lot of them just come out so naturally because, like, I grew up with an English major as a mother, so a lot of phrases and things like that, it just was part of my repertoire. So I don't know. Honestly, like, I don't think there's any, like, quirky thing from Nagheim that I've really grown super attached to.
Although, I mean, your threats to commit arson, lots of fun.
I mean, one of them was because that's like, oh, these people murdered a centaur. Should we kill them? Because, to be fair, Nagheim worships an evil deity and is, if I remember correctly, neutral. So genuinely is like, we can just kill someone. And the easiest way to do it without being caught is just light the place on fire. It's not like an addiction to arson. It's like, this is the easiest way to not get caught.
I think it's just when they present it sort of casually, it's like we could just set it on fire, and it just sort of became this sort of running joke that it's like, well.
But it's like, that's one of the things. At first I was thinking that, but I'm like, honestly, the amount of times Nagheim has offered to set things on fire is really not that much. It's just because of the times it was brought up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, well, it is an option.
It's just like, it's like, oh, you always barf when you travel. You're like, I did it once, but people always remember that thing. Yeah, I think it's just, it definitely came up in funny moments.
But it was like, my mindset was, I was like, okay, as somebody who was, raised by a cop, arson's one of the easiest ways to get away with it.
Good to know. Please don't do this. Disclaimer, we do not endorse arson. Shall we rollies? Do we have another question here? Oh, we have music is a bit loud.
Yeah, this track is kind of crazy.
Okay.
Oh, wait, I'm not going to roll because I think I asked that last question.
This is so pretty.
Oh, goody. 7.
Well, you beat me.
14.
Ah, there we go.
Go for it.
But I have no more questions left.
I do have more questions.
Take it away, Jack.
Okay, all right. Where was I? I think we may. You guys let me know if we feel like we've covered this. What unexpected turns have your character's development taken from when we started in the campaign to now in the campaign?
I have an answer for that.
What haven't you planned, but it just sort of naturally happened?
Oh, I got one too.
I planned for Nagheim to not have a romantic interest at all.
Yes, I feel like I remember you talking about that.
Yeah, and that one, it's just like the way the character was and the way the interactions went, I was like, wait, does Nagheim have a crush? Huh. Just went with it.
Very, very good.
Jason?
Originally intended for Rose to just never say anything about her past. But as
Well,
things
you've
progress,
done pretty well.
as things progress, it eventually sense that she opened up and shared, because story-wise, it would not have made sense for her to keep that secret. She's endangering a bunch of people. But originally, I was like, yeah, no, she's not gonna say anything. She's gonna be that actual mysterious past person who doesn't say that. Yeah, no. But that's why it took so long for her to actually open up.
Ari wrote, Viria grew attached to / protective of the party a lot faster than she thought she would, due to Cult and Nagheim dying early on.
And I think that actually reflects on Cult was supposed to get a little darker earlier, much earlier in the campaign, and it just never happened because of his reuniting with Kat, and it kept him sort of happier and softer and fighting for something, rather than just like he was gonna become a bit darker, as well as fucking Sunshine Rose, his connection, his friendship with Nagheim, and Viria's like real protectiveness, and never like, don't come with it, don't come with me, you're gonna get hurt, and I care about you too much for that to happen. And he goes, and so it's kept him much more light and positive throughout, and also focusing on his faith. I did not plan to have a cult worship a god whatsoever, completely out of the blue. And I was like, because I had the luck feat, and I like to explain away sort of, I don't know if luck is OP, I think it kind of is, having to pray to a god to have luck work for you is a good idea. So yeah, it was mostly, he wasn't gonna have faith, and now he's a cleric. Well, partially. Jason?
Did we get Virios in there? Yeah, we did. Okay. Say the question one more time, please, just so I know.
What unexpected turns of development have your characters taken from then to now?
Nell.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Holy shit, that was definitely.
Yeah, like from the outset, like when her dad kind of went AWOL from like everything he raised Nell's character to kind of be, I had her leaving the family with her being in mind to be like the big bad evil guy for Cult's story eventually. And it literally was like the week before coming to the prison scene with all them. Like, you guys had just beat the Raven Queen. She storms in. She takes you all out. And what was supposed to happen next was Nell to be like the boot of the military on all your throats going forward. And I kind of sat with that for a little bit. I didn't write anything about like what she was going to say to you all in the prison cells until like that whole situation kind of unfolded. And then I was thinking about it. I'm like, I fucking hate this. I don't like this. I don't want to do this. And so I thought of it from a different angle, and that's the Nell that we got to see. And I like that version a lot more than the hard ass kind of like just blind military with no brain, just like following orders and do what you do kind of thing. There's still a lot of that in her, but she's not so vicious as I originally imagined her. And yeah, it just works a lot better.
Yeah, I remember we talked about that post game after that happened, and it just, yeah, Ari writes she shows more depth that way, and I fully agree with that. But yeah, it's very interesting. I keep forgetting that I still have to deal with that whole situation at one point.
That's another cult problem. You just throw that over your shoulder and never look back. Just keep on marching forward. Tuition payment? Who cares?
Problems for later.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock and roll. So yeah, that's me. We got everybody on that one?
I
All
think
right.
so,
Awesome. Rollies.
yeah.
6.
Same.
Oh shit! Oh!
Oh my
Gotta
gosh.
stop shrieking.
Roll of the devil. I know. It's like try to give yourself a break
I know.
there, buddy.
Jesus, I'm gonna be shot tomorrow.
Honk once for no.
All right, so 3-way rollies. Ari, Xander, me.
17.
10.
Oh, you got it.
Hey.
I find that hilarious that we had to do rollies on a 6.
6.
So for campaign 2, for the vibe that you wish to give the character that you're thinking, describe it in one word.
Fangirl.
Get that Taylor Swift shit out of here.
Is that the name of an album or a song or something?
No, just
Oh.
she's a Taylor Swift fangirl. So
Got it.
and she played a character that was Taylor Swift.
It was a bar named Taylor the Swift.
That's a good D&D name. Warn. Not warm. Warn.
Warren.
W-O-R-N.
I'm gonna use lost.
Ari's is dichotomy.
Interesting. Interesting.
I got a word.
What is it?
Okay.
This is a huge spoiler though, guys.
Oh no.
You ready?
Yes.
Yeah?
To no surprise. Wild Mount.
Yeah. I had suspicions. Not like Xander level suspicions, but I thought
Look, we need to ignore the fact that I have the board with all the string going.
the
at all
Charlie
times.
wall.
I have like 5 of them.
I this is gonna be cruel, but I love hearing a lot of them because it warms my heart that I'm like, oh, you're going the wrong way.
That's me. That's me. I'm wrong way, Kelly, for sure.
Oh,
There
it's
are
all good.
sometimes
Eventually we
I'm,
get
like,
them.
pretty
Eventually we get them.
close.
Yeah.
But most of the time, I'm like, here's this tiny insignificant thing, and I somehow connect it to
Yeah.
a potential big bad.
Yeah.
Meh.
Awesome. All right. Looking at the time, I'll say we'll do one more. Oh, you know what? We can go around, and if there's a question that you haven't been able to ask yet, we can ask that, and we'll end that. Does that sound fair?
That
We'll go.
sounds
I was gonna say start with Ari. Just comes. We're gonna go clockwise, starting alphabetically, I guess. But we'll go Ari, Fred, Xander, Chuck. And then, yeah, we'll round that out. But I'll let Ari type it out. So we'll start with Fred now. Oh, you don't have a question anymore, do you?
I can. Okay.
Yeah.
Why? Who is your favorite character, and why is it?
I'm gonna again have to say that it's Cult Month. I'm sorry.
It's not a serious question. So I don't have any more questions. I think we all forgot the naming order, Jason, because the order we have is probably different than this.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at the stream order. So, sorry.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, my stream order is alphabetical.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, Ari's, we got it here. Oh, Jason, what are some of your major inspirations for the overall campaign or for your DMing? I can't say the overall campaign because that's coming up. For my DMing, I mean, that's going to be a sad little answer for you, because I mean it's all the ones that everybody else is like pulling from currently. Like there's things where we get to a certain situation and I kind of ask like, does it really fucking matter if they succeed or fail? And that becomes like the Chris Perkins of, why not? Fuck it, why not? Let's see what happens. Obviously, like most of my DMing stuff is Matt Mercer, just because I learn from watching more than I do studying and reading books. So I learn by being shown, so there's a lot of that. Brennan Lee Mulligan, whenever I want to deep dive into the things that I am passionate about, I look at Brennan Lee Mulligan's DMing and I fucking go nuts over that dude. And yeah, that's as far as I want to go with him. But yeah, there's so many that just like that I have been fortunate enough to have like YouTube and Twitch and live streams and events that I get to watch and I see how it's done. And not all of it is what I would necessarily want to do, but I get to cherry pick all the best parts about them, or the things that I think I can do well or similar to other DMs. And I just mix that into my own DMing thing. And then the rest of it is just like, what do I like to do personally? And then I just throw that into the mix on top of it all. So it feels like it's my own thing when it's really not. It's just a cannibalization of everybody else. So yeah, that's that one. And to answer Fred's question, my favorite character is Rose. So so there you go. Brennan
Also,
is just amazing, and Calamity was ridiculously good for how much we got to enjoy in that Calamity miniseries. Jesus H. Josephats, like it's its own like season of Critical Role in like 5 episodes. It was so damn good.
I will
Oh,
not stand for this Abria erasure. She was better. She is the best. She is an icon. Now, come on now.
no, I didn't actually like it. But it's
She
it's
is my inspiration as a GM.
that's great.
I love her so much, and I love how she is one of the few GMs that I find that is popular that actually sticks to the rule of cool. She's like, everybody's like, yeah, if it's cool, I'll go with it. And then they're like, oh, but the rules say this. And she's like, goes feral every time something cool happens. And I'm like, yes, bitch. You work it.
Yeah, I'm not gonna shit on her.
I like her as a player, I think, a little bit more than as a DM.
Agreed.
I enjoy watching her regardless.
Yeah.
But
The person,
that's
phenomenal. Yeah.
It's nitpicky. It's nitpicky stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think we got... Nope. Never mind.
The big three all bring something different to the table, but Jason rules. No, I don't.
Aw, that's really cute.
Oh.
She's just trying to get inspiration points because we can't hear her burps. So. Where did we leave off?
Maybe inspiration for hunking?
Well, yeah, that could happen.
Honk.
Inspiration. There you go. Inspiration for agreeing to still do this when you don't have a voice. Hells yes, you get a point of inspiration.
What a
but,
trooper.
Yeah. Xander, your last question of the night.
Fuck, I forgot it.
Yes, Nagheim is my favorite also. Jeez.
Someone else go while I think. I forgot it.
Chuck, that's you.
Shit. I don't know if I have. Jason, I know you hate compliments, but
I do.
secretly after we've complimented a really, really good game, does it make you feel good when you're falling to sleep?
Yeah. Well, here's a personal note. especially in the last 2 years, I have been really going toe to toe with some serious fucking insomnia, to the point where we've had to cancel some games and I've had to cancel some work. And I can't lie, a lot of the times it's because my brain won't turn off about this game, that it just keeps me up.
Oh my God.
So when I get through like all that, and like I get through like the games that, oh, hold on. When I miss out on games because of this stupid insomnia, it breaks my freaking heart. So when I actually get to actually show the moments that I've been cooking up for all you guys, and I see the reactions and I hear like how much you liked it, it does mean the world to me. But it's getting to that point that is sometimes really hard. And there are a lot of moments where I take my writing way too seriously, and it makes it difficult. But when the dust settles and we got through a certain thing and you guys get to see what I've tried to make for you all, it's never not worth it. It's just sometimes hard.
Big love.
I'm wearing mascara. You fucker.
I'm sorry.
You need to learn to choke back.
Honk, honk, honk.
You only get one inspiration. I'm sorry.
He said, Jason, I love you.
I really do, even though I have no voice.
That broke my heart.
Oh my God.
Oh my god.
Oh my God, you guys.
So yeah,
I think
I'm
we need to go
sorry.
before we all start crying.
Yeah, I didn't mean to go down that road, but yeah.
No, I'm glad you did.
Love
That's
it.
awesome. That's fucking real right there.
Yeah.
Oh God, you guys, I love you all so much.
Love you too.
And we all raced to Discord to write in chat when we shut it down. I love you.
Yeah, that's true. That is true.
And then we gloat first.
I said I love you first.
Okay, that's
I love
cheating
you.
because
We're still
we're
live.
not offline yet.
Yeah.
That's cheating, so you're
Oh my
disqualified
God,
for this week's
amazing.
race.
Oh man. Well, do we want to leave it on a downer? Do we want to have like one
I mean,
question to perk us
I
up?
don't think that's.
I
don't-
remembered my question, and it's definitely not as deep.
I don't know that we want to end it like that though. It feels like such a wah.
I want to know everyone's opinion on homebrew subclasses.
Ooh. I think if you have the right DM for it, it's incredibly fun. I had someone who was like a mechanics genius brew me up some feats and some background stuff to make sure it was fucking balanced like a beautiful knife. It was so beautifully balanced. You have to be that kind of person though who enjoys that part of the game. I'm not good enough to at mechanics to be able to do that, but if someone else does it for me and it works, it's so rewarding.
It seems very cool, but I also don't know enough to form an opinion, whether positive or negative. So.
Ari writes, very hard to balance mechanically, but when they are, I think they're great. I agree with that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I love, oh man, like what a gift the homebrew section of D&D Beyond is. Like, good lord. Anybody who's part of like the D&D community that creates shit, God bless you, because holy shit, you're doing the Lord's work. The Lord being the chained oblivion, but you know.
Of course.
Yeah.
I love reading through the homebrew.
Yeah, it's
D&D
very
Beyond.
cool, and I don't know if I love reading through things like the homebrew. What did you call the class feature? What? I'm sorry.
Subclasses?
Subclasses. Thank you. Because it gives me ideas for other things. You know what I mean? Like you can go in there and you can pick apart like a set of like 5 or 6 ideas for like their subclass and just go, ooh, this would be cool for like a thing over here. The trouble is that I think with a lot of them, you see the intention, but also like from the DM kind of perspective, I kind of look at it and I go, that's going to be problematic when we get to this level, you know? And I can't turn that part of my brain off because as a player, I look at it and go, man, it would be cool to dish out that feat right there. And then to DM, it's like, Jesus, how do I counterbalance that thematically, you know? Like, so it's tough. I'm going to be really excited for that stuff when it comes to Chuck's mini series. So
some homebrew things,
what?
yes, are amazing.
then it's your problem.
No, I learned my lesson from my first campaign, which was almost completely homebrew. I hate it. I hate it so much.
I love some homebrew stuff, but yeah, some stuff I'm reading it like, what in the fuck? Do you think that is balanced? Like, the Bard, the College of fucking Misery or whatever it is, one of the newer ones, they're level 20 or 17, 18, whatever. It makes the person like an avatar. So fucking strong. But the moment it runs out, that character is making death saves.
Whoa.
Immediately.
Oh my gosh.
The moment it runs out, they have to start rolling.
That's
So it's like, it makes them, and this one's canon. It makes them OP until, but so many times people are like, oh, at level 17, we're meant to be overpowered and unstoppable, so let me just put in 20 d10 of damage. And I'm like, are they gonna die after? Like, what's happening? Like, what's balancing it? And a lot of times they're like, never punished. And I'm like, that's because you're not used.
So I'll make one more comment before we close it out. It is so upsetting that when Chuck burped, she acknowledged it, because at the very same time you burp, Fred kind of backed away, and I thought Fred burped, and we picked it up. I was about to lay the holiest of inspirations on her.
We were Milli Vanilli-ing it.
Yes, completely. But if you tune in next week, you were probably
Ari had a comment for that last bit as well that I was gonna say as well. Was she says that's why I think reskinning creative liberties with existing subclasses can be fun. If homebrew is too difficult to balance, that is an incredibly good way. Is just reflavoring.
Mm-hmm.
And sorry, I interrupted your good night.
Hey everybody, thanks for hanging out. I probably had a better segue, but I don't remember it now. So thank you all for hanging out tonight. This was a lovely time. This was a lot of fun, just having questions and chatting with you all and getting to know the chat and what's on their brain and all you guys, what's hidden behind the curtains of your characters and everything. This is awesome. But next Sunday, I believe we are on for next Sunday. Yes. Yeah.
Wait. Yes. I'm gonna give a heads up. I'm gonna be disgustingly hungover. I'm gonna be fucked. Like, if I have a full face of makeup on, I want a congratulations. I need a parade. Like, I already know that my partner's taking care of my bill, or so. Like, if I look dead next week, I don't look dead next week. None of you are allowed to judge me. Them's the law.
You heard it here first. All right, but yes, we will be back here next Sunday, continuing where we left off last week with our campaign. Same time, same channel as always, and as we always like to say at the end of our stream,
Pussy Mama!
the list is growing.